Hey, Marc, I want to start with tonight's game. You missed the previous game, March 3rd at Sacramento, and just wondered how you organized things defensively, what you thought of the pressure from the guards, you coming out to help on Fox, on Buddy. It seemed like you guys were really impactful on them on the perimeter all evening.
Yeah, I thought that we did a pretty good job of communicating and listening and trying to execute the schemes. I thought everybody was on the same page. We had 3, 4, 5 guys every time defensively. Talking to each other, helping each other. That makes the game a lot more fun.
And Marc, could you just take us through the last couple of days since Drummond signed and Frank said he spoke to you, and then the toe, and you're playing in the fourth quarter. Frank's talking about how well you're playing. Now you're starting. How has this whole week plus gone for you?
The way it looks, how it's just things get thrown at you, and you have to adapt as quick as possible. And as you can imagine, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Marc. When Frank spoke to you about what was happening, and he told you, we're still going to need you. We need you to be ready. What was your reaction to that initially? And did you think, in your mind, could you have thought that ready would have meant, in the fourth quarter of Andre's first game and back in the starting lineup?
Private conversations, are meant to remain private. I think if you can go word by word on what we spoke on that meeting, but it's life. Things change and you have to adapt as fast as possible. When I signed with the team, it was to contribute to help the team, especially the two main guys, to help their games and accomplish their goals, which are win another championship. So I don't think that has changed.
I was just going to follow up to be clear that hasn't changed. You still want to be with this team through the rest of the year?
Things can change quickly in the NBA, just as they have changed for me. But I'm committed to this team. It's a hard pill to swallow because I know I'm going to be out of the lineup at some point, and that's just it's never easy on a player. You always as a basketball player you want to play, you want to contribute, especially when you make that commitment for that reason. But we'll see.
Kyle?
Hey, Marc. One thing Frank has said consistently is, the Lakers are going to need all the players, and specifically to the centers, you're going to need all 3 centers for different matchups depending on, what is needed. Do you feel the validity of that? Do you see your use in that way, and do you kind of have belief that your time, especially in playoff matchups, potentially will come?
I think there's an asterisk to that. I think there's an if they need you, and it's a big if, and then you have to, depend. You're not plan A right now. You plan C, D, and that's not, like I said. You have to accept it because that's your job and that's what you sign up to do. But it's never easy to accept that, especially when you ask if you've done something wrong. When you try to do everything for the team, you don't care. Obviously, I think that's pretty obvious. I don't care much about my stats and the shots that I get or rebounds that I get. I try to do box my guy out or make the next play and help everyone out. So it's not easy. But it's life. You have to adapt. It's like I said, you either you take it as a challenge or you move on.
All right, we have time for one more. Let's go to Dave.
Marc, it's good to see you. There was a point earlier in the year when I think you guys lost in Detroit, and Frank made some lineup adjustments, and another one of the guys that you came in with this summer, Wes Matthews, found himself out of the rotation, and Wes was very complimentary of you the other night and asked about your contributions. And I'm just wondering, is there any kinship that you guys maybe can bond on in this? You came in together and recognize that there's going to be times where you're playing, times where you're not. That's
what happens on deep teams. You're going to have talent, veteran talent that doesn't play. It happens.